What evidence are you looking at that shows sanctions do help people get back?
Daniel, you've made a mistake straight away. What evidence are you looking at? Do you know who you're talking to? Do you know these are the guys who literally refuse to look at evidence, have stated they won't read it?
Into work?
Well, I mean, you just got to look at the last 6 years under the previous government.
This is the evidence. Look at the previous government. That's the evidence. Look at the previous government.
You had unemployment at 3.2%. You had job vacancies in every sector in every region of the country, and you had 70,000 more people added to job
the
sector.
unemployment figures. 33,000
Sure.
more. So
Yes.
we can talk about the previous government, but
I'm just trying to give you a sense of, in terms of you asked about evidence,
Yes,
and
so
what I can say is I
evidence?
can look at the history of that and say that that didn't work.
What didn't work? You haven't. All you've said is what happened under Labor. You have given no evidence for what actually the situation was, what the economy was. What evidence have you got there for it? And this is where he's about to tell us that we need to stay focused on what we're talking about, just while he spent a minute talking about Labor bad, not focusing on what we're talking about.
And then likewise, I can also go back to 2010, where we know that sanctions are a good incentive for people to actually make sure they're compliant with their obligations.
And that's the MSD report that you're referring to back in 2010?
Back in 2010 as an example. But what I just say to you is, again, just stay focused on what we're talking about here.
Right.
Vast majority of Kiwis on JobSeeker doing a great job, fully compliant, meeting their obligations. But it's just not fair, and it's just not right, and it's not in the spirit of the rights and responsibilities we have with each other and to the country if you're going to take the mickey and actually not do some pretty basic things. Get a job profile.
Yes.
Talk to your case manager. Show up for an interview.
There you go. That's that second part done, show you. So it's a classic Luxon where he basically does what he then tells the rest of us we're not allowed to do by not staying focused on what we're talking about, which was where is the evidence? He was talking about Labor. So Mr. Luxon, stay focused on what we're talking about. Where is the evidence? Didn't actually answer that question, Joey.
Sanctions aren't an incentive, just through a basic use of that word. If we were talking about what you were talking about, Pat, turn up to these seminars, make sure that you're compliant, you'll get more money. That's an incentive.
Yeah, compliance. We talked about being Orwellian last night.
It's not an incentive, it's a sanction.
But we just remember that the idea we're observing the Orwellian feel around these guys. What does the word compliant feel like? I mean, there's other ways of saying that. You must compliant. It's just, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's an interesting term to pick by this government when the right around the world is appearing more and more authoritarian.
Yep.
Compliance based.
He's also very keen to say, hey, look, the vast majority of people on JobSeeker are good. They're looking for work. They're compliant. Rah, rah, rah. Again, hinting that it's a very small amount of people that he's targeting with this very, very big stick. Where is the question? How many people are we talking? And how much is it costing taxpayers?
Yeah.
We never see that mentioned because it'll be a ridiculously small fucking number that would absolutely be dwarfed by how much money IRD could claw out of corporate tax cheats.
Yeah.
It's solvable. That problem is solvable. And we don't, because they don't want to solve that problem. Full employment, historically, means high inflation, right? Because the jobs that are vacant, everybody's already got jobs. So these employers have to pay more to attract people to fill that position. That means the ball's in the worker's court. That's bad for business, but it also means the worker has more money to spend in the economy. They can pay their debts. They can buy nice things. But that's inflationary. We're constantly trying to balance a seesaw here. And these guys are stacking bricks on the business owner's end.
Yeah, 100%.
Fuck the workers. Our donors have high costs and they don't want them.
Yeah.
We want to depress the working market, and the best way that we can do that is to wade into a stick of unemployed, a clump of unemployed people with a big fucking stick. It's worked for the National Party in the past. I assume that Luxon has a full-body picture of Ruth Richardson on his bedroom wall.
A full-bodied picture.
Yeah. You can only get this by every leader of the National Party gets issued one. when they're hatched at whatever empathy-free fucking factory that they're all raised in. Look, I would say to this, like, every prime minister and every minister in charge of wins or whatever unemployment needs to have a couple of months on an unemployment benefit, move into a state house, leave all of your shit behind, move into a state house on a job seeker benefit, and you tell me what a cruisy fucking life that is. Actually, Mr. Luxon, tell me, in, I don't know, hundreds of meters, how close have you ever gotten to someone that's in that position? Was it accidental? Did you take a wrong turning somewhere? You know, this man has no concept of what it's like. He has no context because for decades he hasn't lived in this country.
Yeah.
Why do we expect that he has, him and only him, his party have the only answers here? They don't. And even when Labor's been in, they've spent all of their time trying to exercise the incredibly damaging policies that National put in place during the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
They're never able to move the needle far enough because Ruth Richardson threw it into the other fucking room.